Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Sandwich. Playing rather than eating, I guess. And I actually quite like sandwich puzzles, or sandwiches in general, both the food item and the Sudoku variant, which is why I'm actually looking forward to today's puzzle. Ironically, it's by burgermason, although technically I guess burgers are sandwiches, it's just not quite what I depicted here in the thumbnail. But that's kind of enough of an introduction. Let's just crack on with the solve, see what we have in store for today. And I think it's actually the first puzzle I've solved from Burger Mason, so debut on the channel, and certainly the first time I've actually seen one of those puzzles. Let's take a look at what we have in store for today. And no surprisingly, rules-wise, it's going to be fairly straightforward. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and then every 3x3 box. We also have a blend of some of my favorite variants, such as the XVs. So, cells joined by an X or a V must sum up to 10 or 5 respectively. So, for example, if this cell here is a 2, these two cells must sum up to a 10 because of the X that's joining them. That would have to be an 8. These two cells would have to sum up to 5 because of the V that's joining them. This would have to be 3, etc., etc. It doesn't mention negative constraints, so I'm going to assume it doesn't apply. So something as such where this is clearly adding up to 5 without a V, not a problem. Something like that where it's clearly adding up to 10 without an X, also not a problem. Then of course it's all about the sandwich clues. So digits outside the board describe the sum of the digits placed between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column. So essentially what this is saying, this 0, is that wherever the 0 is, wherever the 1s and 9s are, they have to be consecutive because there are no gaps between them. On the other hand, if I take a look at this 7, what that's saying is that there has to be something that adds up to 7, for example. It doesn't have to be a single cell, it could be multiple cells that is between the 1 and the 9. And that's all the rules we have for today. So, as always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. One of the quicker intros I've done in a while. So I'm probably going to focus first on the 35 clues. Because essentially, we know based on Sudoku that the digits 1 to 9 once each are in every row and column. You add them all up, 1 plus 2 plus 3, all the way up to 9, you will get 45. When you have 35 in a sandwich clue, because it's the digits in between the 1 and the 9, they are essentially going to add up to 35. So these two cells are the 1 and the 9, they add up to 10, and then the remaining digits is what adds up to 35. And that is true in here as well. And there, it gives me a bunch of 1-9s. I don't actually know how to resolve them yet, but it gives me a bunch of 1-9s that I can actually immediately use. You'll notice I'm also coloring things. Essentially, if it's 1 or 9, I will give it a color of red. And if it's not 1 or 9, definitely, because we've got 2 of them, for example, in row 1, all of the rest have to be green. Or not 1 or 9, they're going to be green. I could also see here, I could get the other one and I can actually have a break-in. So this V can only be 2 or 3 because 1 is not available anymore in row 1. This V has to be from 1 or 4. And this 4, or this 1 or 4, would have to be leading up to 6 or 9. But that's the 9. So that can't be 9, that has to be 6, that's 4, that's 1, that's 9, and we have our break-in. If you're able to hear my dog in the background, that's because she's keen for us to go out and go for a walk. This, because it's not 6 or 9, would have to be 7 or 8, and therefore this would have to be 2 or 3, and this would have to be another 2 or 3, and then all of these are 7 and 8. This is not 1-9, not 2-8, not 3-7. It can only be 4-6. And these two cells, well, this is not the second 7-8. This is the second 7-8, and that's a 5. Excellent. We know because of this 0 that wherever the 1 and 9 are, they have to be consecutive. I also know that in box 2, none of these are 1s. The only place for a 1 is in here. And therefore that's going to be the 9 to be consecutive, and that's going to be green, and all of these are going to be red. I still need a 9 in box 2, so that can only be in here. That means all of these are also green, which makes sense because we've got a 0 sandwich clue. Something that I've learned to do as, I guess, the puzzle progresses is just to cross out clues we've already used so we don't end up revisiting them constantly. One of these, I think I've broken the puzzle. No, actually, sorry, it's 14. For a second there, I read that as 0. Yeah, it's going to be one of these cells anyway. All of these are green. All of these are green. Excellent. 1 is in one of these 3 cells. We know that this is not 1. It could be 2, 3. It could also be 1 and 4. Sorry, in this direction. Yeah, maybe not the place to look. Let's have a think. So, the 14 that I ignored, actually, I didn't mean to make this red. This is green. The 7 is probably the better option. Yeah, it can't be 8. Otherwise, I can't, I'll exceed the 7. So this is a 9. This has to be 7. That's 8. That's going to be 3. Ironically, essentially what I exactly placed in the beginning when I was trying to show the rules. So all of these are now resolved. That's going to be red. All of these are going to be green. And yes, we know that wasn't 1 anyway. We also know, well, hang on, that could be 1 with a 4. I don't know. Not 9 or 8. It still could be 3, 7, 4, 6. A few too many options for my liking. But then there's essentially like a virtual 3, 4 pair between these. Because either this is 1, 4 and therefore this is 3, 7. Or this is 2, 3 and therefore this is 4, 6. But I don't know which one it is. Oh, we can cross off the 7 down here. We don't have that many clues left, ironically. So I may as well, actually that 9 tells me there has to be a 1 next to it, which unfortunately could be either side of it, so we don't actually know that. But regardless, it means all of these are green. Also means that's green. I don't know why I made that red. Did I make any more mistakes? Yes, I did. Thank you. I guess it's the 14 clue. There's nothing else that seems easier to me. So 14 is a minimum of 2 cells. That, however, so, that can't be 1 because I can't add up 14 in here. Equally, this can't be 1 because that would be the 4 to add up to 5, and then I would need another cell that adds up to 10 to get to 14. So that's not possible. So this is 2, 3, this is 2, 3. That makes these V's, the 1 and 4. That's not what I meant to do. That's the 1, that's the 4. Therefore, these are not the ones. This is the 1 next to the 0. And no 4 in here, therefore no 6. It's a 3, 7. That 2, 3 paired gave me a 7 and a 3. And again, 2, 3, 2, and then 8. Lovely. These are 1, 4. We'll come back to that. We can probably use the 14 clue again to actually resolve that. That's red, green, red again. This 0 requires a 9 in here to make sure the rest of it doesn't add up to anything. And therefore, these are green. This means that this V is a 2, 3. Well, I mean, that 1, 4 also gave us that answer. Can cross that out. We can make this red. I also know that all of these are green. And then this is the only place that's left for the 1. Hang on, these are therefore green. That's red. That's the 9. So not for, actually, you always need a low digit and high digits when it comes to tens. Sorry, I'm just going to keep crossing out more things. Where was I going with this? So the low digit is not this cell because 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all looking at it. So that's the high digit. This is the low digit, which is a 2, 3, and this is a 7, 8, because obviously 1 and 9 and 4 are all not available. These are green. So if this is 2, 3, 4, and a 1, that would be 5 to get to 14. Essentially 2, 3, 4 is 9 plus the 5 to get to 14. If this is the 1, I'm already at 2, 3, which is only 5, and then I would need another 9, which is obviously not available to get to 14. So this is 4, this is 5, this is 4, this is 1, and that's my red here, that's my green there. I'm forced to have 1 and 9 in here in row 7. And yes, this is a 5 between them. And this is my last 9. And I think that's all the 1s and 9s done, because I've colored the entire grid. Just double checking. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Excellent. We can use the remaining clues, or at least maybe use the remaining clues. We're done with that. This requires a 5 in here to get to 5. 2, 3 is not available clearly with this cell. I mean, not that it matters actually, because it's only one cell wide. Right, so we're left with 15 here, which we've also got. There's 0 at the top, which we've got. There's 0 at the top we've got. So the only thing that's left is the 13, and then we're on to Sudoku. So these two cells have to add up to 11. Can't be 2, 9. Can't be 3, 8. Could be 4, 7, and could be 5, 6. 5, 6, and 4, 7. That's the full pencil marks. And then the only thing that I haven't pencil marked in here is an 8, which I actually can't place. So Sudoku it is. What have I got left to put in? It's kind of the question I have on my mind. So I need to place a 6 in here. Actually, not a 6, excuse me. 5 in there. These two cells I'm going to say are 7 and 8. These 3 cells are, well, actually this one is going to be a little bit easier, because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7, 8, or 9. That can only be a 6. And then these two cells are, I'm going to say 2 and 3. And this is 4 and 5. Notice that we have a 2, 3 pair, a 7, 8 pair. So the rest of this column shouldn't be too difficult. We have another 4, 5, and a 6, which I actually can't place. So this is 4, 6, and this is 5, 6 because of this 4 and 5. These two cells, actually, hang on, 8. Come on, let's do 7, 3, 8, 7, 2, 3, better. That means I need an 8 somewhere, which can only be in here anyway. This column's done. Then I need another 5, 6, and something else. A 2, which can't be here. That's the 2. That's the 5, 6. That's another 5, 6, which is a 6 because of this 5. And that's 6. Nope, 5. Which gives me 4, 5, 6, 4. Excellent. No. Actually, I haven't resolved these, surprisingly. Let's keep going. These 3 cells, they're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 6, 7, 8. Unresolved, with this not being a 7. One of these is a 5, can only be in here, and this is another 6, 8. And that 3 actually gave me another 2 and 3 in here. Therefore, I have another 6, 8, and a 4. That's not the 6 or 8. That's the 6 or 8. That's the 4. I've got too many options here. Yeah, no 5 means no, I was trying to add up to 11, no 6. So this is a 4, 7 pair. And these should be now known. I have 3 and 7. Well, oh yeah, it is resolved. That's not the 3, that's the 7, that's the 3. That 7 gave me 4 and 7, which also gave me 6 and 4. This is another 6, 8. No, it is a resolved 6, 8. 8, 6, 6, not 6s. In fact, not 7. That gives me 8 and 7. And that 3 gave me 2 and 3, so no pencil marks left. Now I can say no pencil marks left, and we can just wrap it up from here. So in there I need 2 and 5. That's the 2, that's the 5. In here I need 4, 7, and 8. This is not 7 or 8, that's the 4. That's the 7, that's 8. In here we just write in a digit that I can't see yet. There you go. That's another write in digit, 5. And another 2 to write in, an 8. And if I've not made any mistakes, 2 for the finish. Pretty smooth puzzle, fairly approachable. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, fairly quick one. And I'll see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.